Hello, I'm Graham Fitch and I'm bringing you this video demonstration on the wrist from Steinway Hall in London, and it complements my article for Pianist Magazine. What I'm going to do today is to talk about wrist circles, where we feel the arm and the wrist as one unit and we move in a certain way. The choreography for this is really important. I'll show you in a second, but we're going to use this movement to span distances, to choreograph note patterns, and basically to put finger movements into the arm. So we're connecting everything up. Now, let me just illustrate a wrist circle for a minute. I'm just going to take an ordinary arpeggio up and down. If you can see the choreography for that, what happens is, rather than a circle, it's actually an elliptical movement where the journey from the thumb to the fifth finger describes the lower half of the ellipse. Do you notice here? I'll show you that in the left hand now as well. So down, down and round. What you'll notice is that there's a tendency for my thumb to want to come in and join the other fingers. I don't want to leave my thumb extended. Now, what you can do, if you're not sure of that particular choreography, just try it out really slowly with a broken chord. Down. Now, notice I'm staying down until I play the pinky. I'm at my lowest point now. As I play the pinky, I lift myself up. If you imagine that you're sitting in an armchair and you're pushing down on the arms of the armchair in order to lift yourself up. Lift. And there's a feeling as I lift that I'm coming slightly round in this direction, the opposite direction of travel, to give myself a nice smooth journey. So the upper half from thumb to five, the lower half from thumb to five, and the upper half from five back to one. Now, let me just show you, I know I keep coming back in these demonstrations to the fantasy impromptu, but I know many of you play it and many of you write in with questions about it. The left hand is controlled. Do you see what's going on in my left hand there? Wrist circles. Up, so I start with my pinky on the keyboard, and as I play my pinky, I lift up, come round, circle back. Notice the freedom in my thumb. My thumb is not held in one fixed point. Now, I get a lot of questions about this. How do I make a smooth join from here to there? Do you notice that it's done in a circle? I don't lift and drop again. I feel like when I disconnect from my keyboard, I'm not disconnecting from that under ellipse. The lower part of my ellipse continues. So down, up, round. You'll also spot it in the right hand. I'm going to show you the right hand now. So I'm going to do it a little slower. You see there's a wrist circle there, a lower part. And there's another one. Now what I feel is, as I play those two notes, or four notes actually, it's two notes played twice, I'm picking myself up on those. Rather than, see, I'm finding that hard to coordinate. I can do it. I notice that costs me quite a bit more effort than to use my wrist circles. Let me show you another example of a wrist circle where the pattern is slightly different on the way up to the way, well, actually there isn't a way down that's direct. I'm going to show you this, let me just take this chord. Do you see the circle is the same speed on the way up as down? But if I play the note patterns that we have, this is Beethoven's Opus 10, number 3, first movement, you'll spot, hopefully, that there is nothing between thumb and five on the way down. But but the movement is still the same, but it feels slower on the way up to the way down. So I've got to coordinate these hooks that take me from the top note to the bottom note, fill in. Do you see how fluent the movement is? It actually feels like a spin. I'm generating centrifugal force with that. The spin is self-perpetuating. It feels really nice. And actually it's possible to do it very firmly. Here's a passage from the second movement. So what I could do, I could actually map that in two different ways. I could either do it laterally, just using my lateral motion from side to side and back, or I could turn the corner and convert it into a circle, up. Do you see the difference between the two? That's the circle, this is the lateral. From side to side. Which one should you use? Well, it depends on the context, it depends on your physique, it depends on which is more comfortable for you. But you could explore them both and then see which one you feel like using. The dynamic level is also important. I'm going to show you now the beginning in the left hand of the C-sharp minor nocturne opus 27 number 1 of Chopin. Keep coming back to Chopin nocturnes only because they're so popular. And I'm often getting asked about them. How do we manage this left hand at the beginning? You see the circles there? The movement is actually really lovely. It feels really nice to do. The wrist is slightly high. Notice the position here. My elbow is also slightly high. And what I'm doing is rolling using the same choreography up from the pinky, down from the thumb. Now, interesting that the journey up, the accent is actually not an accent, but the stress. The metrical stress isn't on the pinky, it's on the third finger in the second group. So there. But still, I'm noticing that I'm sensing the upward movement on the third finger. Now this circle spans the whole of that extended broken chord beautifully. It doesn't feel difficult, it doesn't feel stretchy. I've got no stretches in my hand at all, because as I come round, I'm moving all the time. And again, notice how the thumb is inclined to come back into the hand. There's no stretching out of the thumb. I'm just going to end this demonstration with an example that you might not think calls for a wrist circle, but if you use it, a very small one, tiny, 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 you'll find that if you've got problems with unevenness, I'm talking about the beginning of the Moonlight Sonata, if you've got problems with bumpiness or unevenness, it'll often be because you're trying to do it just with your fingers. Let me show you wrong, or not so much wrong as less efficient. That's just with my fingers. I can do it fine, actually. Doesn't feel so great. Feels a little bit, you know, syllabic. So what I'm going to do is put a circle in. I'm going to start with a bigger circle just to show you what I'm doing. Same choreography. Thumb brushes off, and the upper part of the hand picks up. Up, round. So let me do that again. Now I'm going to minimize it. And you may even sense that rather than coming round as a circle, you can just use an up-down movement of the wrist. Very, very small. Down, up, up. That works just as well. if not better. So here let me do that again with the fingers. It feels uncomfortable, it feels a little dangerous to control, and it sounds to me a little on the spiky side. So experiment with the wrist, either the circles or the gentle up down, and I think you'll find that it makes it more comfortable and it makes it sound much more even and flowing.